Hey, what's up guys? Jeremy here with Stevens Detailing and Shine Supply. Today we have this Mercedes AMG E63 in for a new vehicle protection detail. Let's go over the steps of what the new car protection detail consists of. So first of all, we're gonna wash the paint with our Hot Shot soap from Shine Supply. We're gonna get all the dirt and grime off it. We're gonna clean the wheels with our Cool Guy wheel cleaner. That's gonna remove all the bonded iron contaminants from inside the barrel of the wheels and the face. We're gonna clean the tires with Wise Guy tire cleaner. So, why do you need to perform this type of detail on a new vehicle? You might think, dude, it's new. Why does it need a detail? Because the best time to protect your paint is when it's brand new. You don't want to wait till the vehicle has had years of damaging UV exposure and swirl marks put into the paint from improper washing. Rather than repair the damage from neglect, this type of detail can help protect the paint from that UV damage and help minimize surface defects. Every time a vehicle is compound and polished to remove surface defects from that neglect, it's removing some of your clear coat. The idea is to perform an initial polish to bring out the paint's true clarity and gloss, and then protect it with a sacrificial barrier that takes the abuse that would typically be happening directly in your paint. After that process, once we get the vehicle soaped and rinsed, then we're gonna go through with our Smooth Move paint decontaminator. What that's gonna do is, even though the vehicle is washed and clean, you still have bonded contaminants. You could run your hand over it and you could feel a little bit of grittiness on the surface even though the vehicle is clean. Those have to be removed with what we call an iron remover. That is what our Smooth Move does. So, again, when the vehicle is soaped, rinsed, before we go to dry it, we are gonna spray the Smooth Move on all the paint surfaces, the glass. That product is gonna start to break down those bonded contaminants. Then we're gonna go back in, re-foam the vehicle, soap it down. That's gonna help lift off those contaminants from the surface. And then we're gonna re-rinse the vehicle. Then it'll be ready to dry, pull it in the shop, and get started on our clay bar process. So let's discuss the clay bar process. We are going to use our white clay bar. That is a mild bar. We also have a purple one. That is an aggressive bar. That's more for a used vehicle that has been neglected. On newer paint, we're gonna use our white bar. It's less aggressive to the paint. It's gonna remove any leftover bonded contaminants from that Smooth Move step. Once we get the vehicle clayed, we're gonna use the Shine Mist for the lubricant. We're gonna re-wipe down the car, and that is going to move us into our evaluation to see the light defects on the car and create our process for our light compounding and polishing. The reason we want to do a light compound and polish, even though it's a new car, is because you never want to put a professional grade, long-term ceramic coating over the top of defects in the finish. The idea is to perfect the finish get maximum gloss, maximum clarity out of the paint, then protect it with the professional coating, and then moving forward, all you're doing is maintaining that layer of coating rather than working right on your paint surface. So that will be our next step, creating that process to address the light defects, and then choose our polish to create ultimate clarity and ultimate gloss. Typically, we will go with Classic Cut for our light compounding with the pad of choice, sometimes microfiber cutting, sometimes microfiber finishing, depending on the paint type. Second, we do our polishing step, and that will be with Classic Finish Plus and a foam pad. After those steps, we do a final wipe down with a product called Throwback. It is our paint cleanser that removes any leftover residue and oils from our compounding polishing step. We blow out all the cracks and crevices with compressed air. We want no dust anywhere on the vehicle prior to applying our coating. And then our final step will be protecting what we just accomplished with our compound and polishing steps. So if you're following along here, the major part of this type of service is in the prep. So a lot of what the value that's being created in this service is in the prep that goes into it. Anybody can apply a coating, but it's the professional approach to the prep that really separates one detail company from another. That's why it's so important to know the process, to know what's going into the process when you're selecting to have your vehicle detailed. So the final step will be applying professional grade ceramic coating on our new car protection details. We go with our Beadlock Pro marine grade coating. That is providing an incredible base layer of hard protection. And then we go through and do a second layer on top of that Beadlock Pro marine with our Beadlock Pro coating. So you're left with 2 layers of ceramic coating, which is giving you a super thick, hardened, sacrificial barrier on top of your clear coat that is providing ease of maintenance, incredible gloss, long-term protection, superior UV protection, makes the vehicle very easy to wash, makes the surface extremely hydrophobic, consistently stays glossy, always has that fresh, deep, wet look like everyone's looking for. And then it just makes your washing so much easier and so much more enjoyable. So on the wheels, these will get pulled off, the wheels get removed, they get ceramic coated with our Beadlock wheel coating. We will coat the calipers with that product. We will coat inside the barrels of the wheels. We will coat the faces of the wheels with the Beadlock wheel coating. The wheels will be reinstalled, torqued. Final step will be ceramic coating the glass. So the glass will get a product called Glassparency. It's a 2-part ceramic coating process, and that actually gets registered with their company. You get a reminder of when it needs the booster. It's a great program. So your glass will stay cleaner. It helps eliminate the need to use your windshield wipers when it's raining. It makes the glass cleanup a lot easier. Great product. Yeah, so a lot of questions we get asked here is, why would I spend the money to get a professional ceramic coating when I could just go to the store and buy one of those spray type products that say they're ceramic coatings, but they're in a spray bottle. You can buy them off the shelf in some big box store. So The difference between those products and a pro coating is those are water-based ceramic fortified products. So they have ceramic properties, but it's just a water-based product. They're great for short-term standalone protection. You want to give your car 2 to 3 months protection. Those products are great for that. They do not set up on the surface of your vehicle like a hard coating, like a professional ceramic coating does. A pro coating sets up like a hard glass type, flexible, sacrificial barrier on top of your clear coat. So that is one of the main differences, where those are just boosters and enhancers and short-term protection, those ceramic-based sprays. We have one here at Shine Supply called Punch It Synergy Spray. It's a great enhancer, booster. It is a completely different world than our hard-based ceramic professional coatings. If we poured a little bit in a small cap and let that dry, you would have to chip it out almost like glass. Pro coatings aren't fazed by UV exposure. Pro coatings don't break down with car washing. They're not fazed by that at all. That's why they last in the term of years rather than months. The main value of what you're paying for at a professional detail company when you have this type of service performed is all in the prep. As you've seen in this video, it's all in the decontamination that's happening to the paint. It's in the light compounding that we're doing to remove any light defects that are in the paint. It's the hours of preparation. I mean, right now we're on day 2 of this detail. So you can take a spray bottle of something from the store and put it on your car and get yourself a couple months of protection, but you can't compare that to what's happening or what's happened in the last 2 days at our shop with the decontamination, the light compounding, the polishing, the dual layer of coating applied to the paint. Totally different world. Okay, so most pro coatings perform well and they're gonna last for years, okay? The main thing is to find a detailer you trust and has the experience with the professional coating that he's been applying to cars for years. Because if he has integrity and it's somebody you can trust that he has seen that coating perform. I would encourage you to look more to the experience and the integrity of the detailer that's applying the coating and leaning on his trust for the product's performance that he has seen prove itself, rather than a marketing claim. Anybody can claim anything they want with a marketing. We could say it lasts 8 years, 10 years, lifetime. How do you really know? If you watch that product perform for 8 years, for 7 years, for 5 years, most people don't even keep their cars longer than 5 years. So not to discredit those claims, but I would encourage you to lean more on the experience, the integrity, the trust of the professional detailer applying that product to your car. And last thing I'll say about the warranty claims and guarantees and stuff like that, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably isn't true. Ceramic coatings are only as good as the maintenance. It's like with anything. Let's say you drop a race motor in your truck. Swap that out from the factory motor. It's gonna require specific oil, specific octane of gas. There's gonna be certain ways you have to maintain that motor in order for it to perform. Same way with a coating, or we could give tons of different examples. So maintenance is the key. So it's not that you just, hey, let me go with whoever's making the best claim, you know, the 5, 7, 9 years, but more so focus on, no, I'm gonna go with who I trust, and then I wanna understand how to maintain this investment. So maintenance is key with coating. You want to maintain it properly. That's why here at Stevens Detailing, we really encourage everyone that we professionally coat their vehicle to come see us annually for the annual ceramic coating maintenance detail. So we can decontaminate the surface, get all the bonded contaminants that have built up over the course of the year from them driving, being subject to the elements, do a light polish to remove any light defects that have developed in the coating over the course of the year, and then load the surface back up with a product we have called Relock. So we relock the surface that has bead lock on it. All that does is build the surface back up to 100%, and it keeps that vehicle looking top notch. Now, let's say if you're like, what if I don't want to do the maintenance? I don't want to come in every year and do the maintenance. Well, hey, you either need to do it yourself or you need to have a professional do it. But if you neglect it, your coating is still gonna be intact on the surface, but the vehicle aesthetically is not gonna look good. It's gonna have little light defects that have developed over the course of the year. It's not gonna feel smooth when you wash it. It's gonna have that gritty feel, being that it has some bonded contaminants that have built up on the surface over the course of the year. It's just not gonna be enjoyable like it was when you first had that vehicle coated. All right, so a couple tips for you guys. You might have been offered to have this kind of service performed at a dealership. Hey, the dealership offered to do this. They're just gonna pack it into my monthly payments. It's 10 bucks a month, no big deal. Look, there's a good chance you're overpaying for the service. And then dealerships in general are not set up to work on a vehicle for a day and a half, detailing wise. So they're gonna try to crunch what a service that really needs a day and a half, or even a full day for that matter, depending on just the time frame, you know, of the size of the vehicle. But they're trying to crunch a day to a day and a half of work in a few hours, because that's the dynamic of a dealership. So don't be drawn into just the few more bucks added to your monthly payment. Avoid that. Find yourself a professional, reputable detailer. Ask that detailer their process. Make sure you know what's going into the job. If they're gonna knock it out in a half day, you need to ask more questions. You need to ask, well, what's going into what you're doing? Then you'll understand why it might be $400 or $500. Process always determines price. There's a good chance a cheap price for a service like this is really translating into cheap results. So ask questions. Avoid having this done at the dealership. Find someone you trust. You're gonna be happy that you did it that way. Look, it's that old saying, you get what you pay for. And that's always gonna ring true. All right, so appreciate you guys watching this video. For more information on our services, detailing wise, check out stevensdetailing.com. Again, this is our new car protection detail. For information on how to maintain a ceramic coating, maybe you had a service like this performed by a detailer somewhere else and you want information how to maintain that coating better, check out our product website at shinesupply.com. View our annual ceramic coating maintenance detail chart. It's got a very simple list of what this detail entails and will help you know how to maintain it properly. We also have a washing chart that you can print out, teach you how to wash properly. Look for more videos coming from us. Thanks for watching.